Hello. Good morning. I suppose I don't know. I'm filled with the spirit this morning, so I'm just going to get to work, I suppose. I've set myself an impossible task or maybe a stupid one or a pointless one. I'm just going to finish this thing, and for some reason, I feel like doing it the way that I'm doing it is the way to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything better than that for you. Um, I'm gonna finish this stupid book. And if anybody wants to talk, that's cool. That'll be fun. If you don't, I don't know why you would listen or watch this, but for some reason, here we are. So, yeah, let's do it. Because why not? Like, why not, though? Because why not? You know what I'm saying? I have no reason not to just fucking go. What are we doing? See what I'm saying, Dr. Shatterhand? And you know what? I'm vibing on this music now, so this is also what we're doing. We're just having a day. We're starting off our day. I'm in if you are. They joked. They joked to his face. Or joked. Honest. Or joked to his face. Yeah, why not? Uh-huh. I don't even know, you know? But they knew he was coming back. Why not say it? I will tell you why not. They honestly joked to his face, or joked to his face honestly, or joked honestly to his face. We can't wait for you to come back. Which, of course, seems like a cruel thing to say to somebody about an institution. But they knew he was coming back. Why not say it? In this place, that's what we're talking about. So, in this place, unlike outside, why not? Always be direct in honesty. They knew he was coming back. They knew it. Why not say it? In this place. We don't need unlike outside, do we? Do we? No, I don't think we do. Because if we are inside a place, you really don't need to tell people that you are also not outside of the place. You can be in or out, but you are always one or the other. So we're going to do some fun little word spitting. This is an interesting little section right here for me. So they were in, then out, or would we rather have it they were in, they were out? So there's no goodbye. They were in, then out. What we're trying to express is just a simple, line. And the way that that transformation doesn't have any drama associated with it, just a movement from one space to another space, one state of existence to another state. Now, the best way to communicate that, though, can be they were in, comma, then out. But if you want to remove the time aspect of it, then it's they were in, they were out. Do I want time to be a part of this conversation right here? Is the question. Because if you hear time, what time is it? Let's do no time. I have no time for this. They were in, they were out. Blood in, blood out. That's what we are referencing now. And that is why we have added a semicolon. The moment itself was surreal. Because any moment is surreal. In essence, the idea of understanding a moment. What was the point? With an even larger smile. They were an example, not a deterrent. A path to follow. The institution did not break them. Da-da. Okay, so all of their choices we can get rid of all of. Goodbye. Goodbye, all of their choices they would make again with an even larger smile. Smiling greater. They were an example, not a deterrent. They were the example. The path to follow. The institution did not break them. In the moment, the surreal moment, the space between in and out. They saw the whole. Because that's how it works, right? They saw the whole. The institution needed something to do. The moment after. Yes, they would make again smiling greater. That is your E.E. Cummings anastrophe of the day. We'll be keeping track of those as time goes on. We'll see how many up so floating many bells we find. So the reason they would make again smiling greater is because that is the way your mouth moves. No, totally. But they would make again smiling greater. You can see how you actually have to like move your fucking face as you read it out loud. Which is always fun. I guess it's fun. I think it's fun. All right. Is that an astrophy? I feel like that is an astrophy. I mean, writing is hard and reading is ridiculous, so you might as well have a face moving at the same time. The moment after. The moment had passed. The moment after is better. When they were all the way out. And in was too far in the past to reach clearly. They returned to the belief in a larger point. That does not make any sense. That entire sentence that I just read makes no sense. That is absurd. What I think I'm trying to say is that the moment after the revelation was forgotten. That's a fun thing. There are so many words. So many words written down there. The moment after moving on. That's what it could be replaced with. Moving on. Next. Having returned, new. Exiting the free space. Exiting the free space meant returning in somewhere else, returning inside. What is in and what is out, right? Am I right? You know what I'm saying? You know, they're out, but are they out? Are they really? You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, Jordan. Exiting the free space meant returning to the sodden belief of a larger, of a greater, of an with a sodden belief in purpose itself. Because the truth is too small. The truth was small in the way that a singularity is small. The gravity drew. No. The gravity. Around which the around which reality is bent. Thank you. There we go. Hello, good morning. And like any black hole, getting too close will kill you. Or, morning. No, we're just writing good stuff. Getting too close will turn you to spaghetti. Because that's what happens. The process of spaghettification begins. That was the thing. If you ever saw Interstellar, you know the part where they go inside of the black hole? What it doesn't show you is that the gravity would spread out his body until it broke apart, And then the gravity would once again spread it out until it broke apart, and then it spread it out until it broke apart, until he was a simple line of electron clouds perfectly being pulled in there. But from outside, you wouldn't be able to see any of this happen at all, because time would effectively have stopped. So you would almost see like an outline of what was the person as they perceived themselves being turned into spaghetti. So unlike in Interstellar, where he continues to live throughout it, he would be emptiness. In case you were wondering. That's the process of spaghettification. Good morning. Went out. They had no family. Just one day they'd get over it. Nope, that's trash. Can get rid of that. Their only source of stability in the form of the reliably unstable Rade. Their source... It is the best part of Brave History of Time. I remember reading that. Why? No reason. Has not helped me in any way. In any way. Because I never learned science. Or how to read. Their only source of stability. Their unstable source of stability. Reliable in its way. Reliable in his way. In his way. His way. Rade. It might come in handy someday. Reliable in his way. Reliably so. Reliably so. Rade. Was healthy or no, always to be a part of their lives. Always. Rade was that around which they orbit. Nope, I've already used around which. What am I doing? Shut up, Jordan. Rade, they orbited. They orbited him? Jesus Christ. They orbited him. Now that's great. Ooh, say that out loud. They orbited him. Ugh. Disgusting. So, the reason that we're putting a hat on a hat with their unstable source of stability, reliably so, which would otherwise you might consider what's overkill, is to reinforce the nature of absurdity. I like that. And to not, but to reinforce the sense of absurdity around, the thing being not the thing together and not the thing together are the thing, which is the theme of the book, despite what it might look like. Rade would find them. When their orbit... The theme is the thing. Well, the theme is also not the theme. And that together that those are the theme is the theme. Their orbit, their trajectory would always intersect. Their trajectory would always intersect. Like a returning comet, like an orbiting comet, like Halley's comet. We don't even need to have a like in there. Don't go simile, go metaphor. Halley's comet bringing tidings, bringing portent. Halley's comet bringing portent. Exactly like Planet Nibiru. See, there we go. Why put a like in there? Why put a like in there when the imagery that you want is in motion, is in movement? Now you can see that their unstable source of stability, reliably so, their trajectory would always intersect, yeah, but that's, ooh. Yeah, sure. It's always, I think they're saved up on the site, Eric. I believe that you can just watch it after it's done. Halley's comet bringing portent. Are we going to use a semicolon? Yes, we are. Is that how you spell Halley's comet? What? I'm going to go with Hail Bop because Hail Bop is funnier. And also the reference, isn't that Hail Bop is the one that murdered all those people? Maybe I won't go with Hail Bop. Hail Bop. Oop-a-da-ba-da-ooh-wop. Hail Bop. That sounds good. I'm going to sing that forever. 2 L's. Oh, god damn it. I knew it. I knew it. Not Haley like your fucking best friend's sister's name. Oh, Haley. Yeah. I know. Oh, yeah, she comes around every now and again. They knew him then. They discovered they had never met out. They knew him in. Until now, they had not. Yeah, I like that. Known him out. Haley Joel Osment's comet. Now that's branding is what that is. That's the good shit. The two could not be more different. And outside, it made sense why he kept going in. All right, so I've just had a barrage of in, out metaphors about orbit, about circles, about completion. All of this stuff is all in there to try and reinforce not just not just like their experience, but their collective identity. They aren't just one gender. They aren't just one person. They aren't just one. They are the whole of all of these things. They're representative of, all the completion of the person. Like one of those hermaphroditic gods from Egypt that represent, all life or whatever. That was how they did. Ouroboros. That's a good one. That was how they did religion back then. They were like, the gods or whatever. It made sense he kept going in. It made sense his his movement in. It made sense the perp walks he took. It made sense. It made sense. It was clear. It was clear the sense they could get. Oh, God. It was clear to them. It was clear to them. He returned in for a reason. For good reason? In secret. In secret. Ooh, they have a secret now. In secret, they thought perhaps no. In secret. They felt the reason he returned was good. They felt in secret. They may have agreed with the reason. No. In secret, his return made sense. Or perhaps they would have done it too. In secret, they agreed. They were relieved. They sighed and they would be relieved to see outside him go in. No, that doesn't make any sense either. Or maybe we could just say the two could not be more different. An outside raid. Outside raid justified inside. And in secret, and all right. And in secret, they agreed outside raid justified inside raid. Jesus Christ, how many of those are we going to get? How many outside inside puns are we going to do? Is that even puns? It's just wordplay? Anti-example, see again, navigate with relative ease. Do we need that? Yes. They watched him come. Relative ease? Can we do just with ease? No, because it's not easy. It's not easy. So I'm not going to say that it is easy. They watched him come and go for their remaining sentence. Never stay, the idiot. That is a good point of view from them. Signal. However, when he's gone, the institution was punishment. We don't need however. We just need to continue on with their feelings. When he was gone, the institution was punishment, not a punishment. When he was there, they had a home. Or were they home? They weren't home. They had a home. They honestly joked to his face, or joked to his face honestly. Or joked honestly to his face. Or joked in honest. They joked to his face. Yeah, I'll keep that. He wasn't in when they got out. There was no goodbye. They were in, they were out. The moment was surreal. Was the point? Their choices they would make again, smiling greater. They were the example, the path to follow. The institution did not break them. In the moment, the surreal moment, the space between in and out, they saw the whole. The institution needed something to do. The moment after the revelation was forgotten, exiting the free space meant returning to the sodden belief in purpose itself, because the truth was too small. The truth is small in the way that a singularity is small, around which reality is bent. Like any black hole, getting too close will turn you to spaghetti. Their unstable source of stability, reliably so, their trajectory would always intersect. Halley's comet bringing portent. They knew him in, until now they had not known him out. The two could not be more different, and in secret they agreed outside Rade justified inside Rade. Yeah. That's not bad. We'll go with that for a little bit. That might take you 2 or 3 reads to actually get what is happening. But you know what? Put a little work in there. What, do I have to do everything? They were... Why must you lie to the... Why were they honest inside and dishonest outside? That's the question, right? You hate the inside, but you're honest there because you have no choice. Outside you lie because you want to limit other people's choices. Other people's ability to make choices for themselves. That kind of thing, you know? So when outside, they have to lie to Rade. Because if Rade, and this is their understanding of him, if Rade is allowed to make his own choices, he makes the choices that get people to send him inside. Inside, his choices are limited for him, so they don't need to lie to him. They can just be honest. He can't make the choice that they don't want him to make. That's the point. That's the whole point of the institution, is to keep people from making that choice. Lying is to keep people from making a choice by removing the knowledge that that choice exists, or that they could make that choice. Because if you had the information, in truth, you would see something that they don't want you to see. And thus a lie is. Now, how do we say that in less than one sentence? Don't lie. Lying is bad. That's what yeah. You know that whole thing that I just talked about? Let's just go with lying is bad. Don't lie. But outside bred dishonesty, and dishonesty made the inside. Freedom bred dishonesty. And dishonesty necessitates capture. Let's try that out. Freedom bred dishonesty. Dishonesty led to capture. But it was not his, it's theirs. The dishonesty was not his, but rather theirs. Is that what we want to go with? Do I need but? Don't need but. But you need some butt. Yeah. But What? This just honestly was not his, rather theirs. They were confident. They were feared and respected. It was undeniably madness that sent Rade back in. Nope, that doesn't make sense. Tron was collecting... no, that was Khan. Khan is collecting the necessary items and potions to revive Rade, so they weren't there when the story of Rade's last night at the institution was first told. This was good. Oh, okay. All right, so now we've returned from this short aside into the present day. So we'll just cut that off. Collected the necessary items, the necessary potions to revive Rade. They weren't present when the story of Rade's last night at the institution, last night institutionalized, was told. This was good. This was this was beneficial. This benefited all, for Khan might abandon them. If Trin weren't there to talk them down. 2-on-1 in Rade's favor was the best outcome for all. All right. Heard Conwent payments, and Rade had nothing of value. Rade took a thorough beating. Nah, we don't need that part. For some reason, I don't know what was going on there. Okay, we can just set that up. Okay, so now whether it was okay. So right here we have the first separation of purpose. So we've got this little scene right here that cuts down to, sorry, I'm scrolling in a different area. That cuts us to Rade's last night at the institution. That's him telling Trin the story. Then we have the cutscene to recognize Khan's existence. That's where that goes. That tells us the history of them at the institution. That cuts us back into here. That tells us where we are. Now we begin this next part. So it begins. see, I thought last night was pretty simple. If I go back again or stay, I'm gonna die. I'm going to die. And I know when I get out, sooner or later, they're gonna send me back. So, if I'm gonna die either way, I might as well die out here. If I'm gonna die. So it's me or them. I chose me. Now what? Can't send me back. Nowhere to send me to. Can't send me back. Good fucking luck. God damn it. Bruised, but happier than he could have believed possible. Feeling some state of being bigger, above, about, feeling a state of being, a feeling transcended to a state of being. Free. What is free to someone moving at a different speed? I am the past, my future too. How can my future be seen yet still be in flux? How to be free when there is no free? Movement, moving faster. Outrun the watches. Okay, so we're going deep inside his mind right now. Now, how are we going to do that? We are going to use punctuation. God damn you. I hate you. How can my future be seen in flux? How to be free when there is no free. Movement. Okay. Movement. Faster. Moving faster. Outrun. Okay. And now we return to dialogue. Because why not? Why not? Put something impressionistic in there. I like it. What is free to someone moving at a different... I am the past, my future too. How can my future be seen in flux? How to be free when there is no free? Movement faster, moving faster, outrun the watchers when they can't see me, I'm free. That's what's going on inside Rade's mind. So, there's no way for you to interpret his behavior as anything that's clear-headed. As anything that's like, oh yeah, this guy has good reasons. This is what's happening upstairs. I have to start somewhere. That's what you've got for me. I have to start somewhere. Well, I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. Good morning, Wormageddon. That's fun. I like that name. Technically, everybody does have to start somewhere. That's just true. Everything has to, right? What starts with you? Everything has to. But this starts with me. What starts with you? We italics. What starts with you? It. Khan was already furious, adding exasperation, even outright vexation. Was not endearing. Raid, I swear. So, hello, howdy. So the reason that I like to do this with my dialogue, I hate he said, she saids. I despise them. And in terms of characterization, the first thing that I want you to get is just a like almost osmosis. Like the way each of my characters talk is distinct from the others. I and that's part of the challenge of not having like direct monikers for each piece of dialogue is I have to use the characterization directly through the language itself. By doing that, though, if you're not paying attention as the reader, or if you're not like vibing in on that right away, I'm fine with that. I'm going to leave little crumbs, little clues to who's talking where, and I want you to just feel the dialogue at first. Just feel in your head. You know, you're gonna hear different things as they talk different. That's the idea, anyways. And if you don't, I totally get that. Makes perfect sense. You're right, not me. Raid, I swear to God. Do you understand what you did? Of course not. That's a nice little. I love a good piece of dialogue that's just ellipsis. That's good writing, not writing. Raid closed his mouth, furrowing his eyebrows. Signaling deep. Signaling thinking. Just doing some thinking. Signaling, socially signaling. Signaling deep thought. Yeah. The doing of thinking through through visual muscle contraction, through visualizing muscle contraction, through practical construction, visualizing practical, through visual display, through there's any display is visual, dum dum. The doing of thinking through display, that I like. Muscle, yeah, that works. That works. Then spoke, as though whatever came next was mere important. He made a face. He was okay. All right. Then he spoke. The face, as though with the expectation that what he said next would be received. The expectation that whatever he spoke next would be received as though it contained some special wisdom. Wisdom that could only be found in the contraction of muscles, in the contraction of facial muscles. Wisdom that could only be found in the contraction of contortion, and could only be found in the squibbity of the face. Wisdom that could only be found by squishing his face real fucking hard, you know? That kind of face squishing wisdom. I was thinking hard, so now I got face squishing reason. Wisdom. It was more important. A jaw gave it some oomph. A jaw squeeze gave it some oomph. Contortion, contraction. Wisdom that could only be dug up with effort. Wisdom that could only be found with effort, with work. Wisdom that had to be flexed. Wisdom that had to be fought for. Wisdom that broke through the face. Poop wisdom. Shit. Wisdom that could only be found in the contraction of facial muscles sucks. Wisdom that could contain some special wisdom. Wisdom earned through weightlifting jawline, earned with the steely jaw squeeze of a jaundiced cat. Earned wisdom earned through squish. Wisdom found in the face weight room, the facial weight room. Wisdom found signaling deep thought. Contains some special wisdom. The wisdom that you can only find when you look up. Wisdom that sucks, but the butt-sucking wisdom of butt suckers. Then he spoke with the expectation that whatever he spoke next, get rid of. See, here's what you do. You fucking get rid of all of it. How dare you? How dare you? The doing of thinking through display. That's not bad. That's good. The rest of it is trash. What he said next? What he said next? What was said next contained wisdom made more important because he made a face. Because he grimaced. Made more important due to grimace. Increased importance. The wisdom of grimacing face contained the wisdom of the grimacing face. That I like. That's fun. The wisdom of the grimacing face, as though it was a thing that we all do. Oh, we all know about the wisdom of the grimacing face, but contextually, you do kind of get what I'm trying to say there. I like that. That is good. Congratulations, all. We fought through it. We did it. Okay. All right, so here we go. Shit. It. K. I'm gonna have her. Rade calls him K. Rade calls them K. That's what Rade does. It. K. Is whatever it is we do next. It could also be what they do next. It would be better if it was something we're doing to them. It we're gonna put some stink on it. It italics. Morning, Karen. If it would be, it could also be what they do next. What they do next. What they do next. If it's what they do next, it'll be something they're doing to us. It would be better if what we do next is something we're doing to them. Now that's stupid, but it's dialogue. And I kind of want Rade to be in a bit of an extreme emotional state right now. He's getting kind of wound up because he's realizing that maybe he fucked up by, starting this whole thing. So if I want that, then I'm going to try and show you through the kind of dialogue. Also, this is another aspect of the characterization through just straight dialogue. You know that this is not Khan speaking because this is not how Khan speaks. If it was something okay. If it's the latter, we're in worse shape than if it's the former. Okay. It would be better if it's something we're doing to them. Okay, so that's better. And also that hits, so once this hits down, now we end it with this. So, what's that? What is it? Okay. All right, I like that. So if we go back through what I'm doing here. All right. Okay, so let's go up here. where did we start? Okay, so they honestly joked to his face, or joked to his face honestly, "We can't wait for you to come back," knowing what that meant to him. In this place, why not always be direct in honesty? They knew he was coming back. Why not say it? He wasn't in when they got out. There was no goodbye. They were in, they were out. The moment that itself was surreal. What was the point? All right. Okay. So, when we put this all together, everything has been about this final little bit right here. So, this whole thing, this whole chapter, or whatever, is about that. The consistent in out, the consistent comparison between opposites being part of the same thing. It comes down to what we do next is either a do that we do or something that is done to us. That's the thing that separates. So I've demonstrated all of these things that are the same thing, that are one thing. Now this line is what separates those two things. It is who's doing. So they're both happening at the same time, but who's the driver? Who's in charge? And that's that. So there we go. Now, this is when we are introduced to one of my favorite characters I've ever created, King Robes. So I mentioned up earlier, I think, whenever it was like, where is it? The downfall of King Robes began that day. Right, so now we've got, I've foreshadowed King Robes, who I like. And now we're gonna get to talk a little bit about King Robes. King Robes isn't his actual name, obviously. I later on reveal in little bits and pieces that he has a real name. But for the purposes of the narrator, I'm gonna call him King Robes. So that way you have no choice. There's no subtlety. I want no subtlety. This is whatever you like. This is your pope. This is your priest. This is your fucking judge. This is everybody who actually sucks wears a robe. It's a secret obvious signal that we have. By giving somebody a robe, we're revealing that they suck. I don't understand how we don't get that. But whatever. Instead, we give them all the power. King Robes had a desk the way a hoarder has depression. The desk was all consuming. The desk was his office. The door to entry was a drawer. One had to pull it out from the wall, climb over the side, and then was expected to pull the rope upon exit, closing the drawer. So this is my imagery here. If you can see this in your head, then you're a friend of mine. His entire office is actually one big desk, and I don't know. We'll see how obvious that becomes to your eyes. Like, I wonder if this will come through all the way. Inside was so like in my first book, The Quiet Part Loud, I had Dave's continue building and rebuilding his house into as many absurd possible things as I could. It's just it's a fun thing for me to make a subtext that anybody with money lives an absurd life if they're not living an absurd life. if that makes sense. You know, why wouldn't you have if you've got $1 billion, then every 2 weeks Dave's has his whole place redone to look like a different movie set or whatever, you know? Who fucking cares? You have $1 billion. Have fun. Have fun with it. So revealing the absurdity of not having fun with it is how we kind of differentiate between creative characters and uncreative characters. But my subtext is, I'm having fun. Inside was the illusion of a well-kept drawer containing a well-kept diorama. Office diorama. Was an optical illusion. Was an optical illusion. A well-kept office diorama. I like that. Do you not like it? I don't care! Damn you! Damn you to hell! Upon first entry, one had the uncanny feeling of being within a dollhouse, and thus a tiny size. King Rose, being used to it, had an immediate and overwhelming advantage. 90% of the people who entered his office already felt small. They were rendered microscopic. Already felt small. They were rendered microscopic. The other 10%, not knowing what it's like to feel small, were paralyzed. Yeah, I like that. That's not bad. That's not bad. Who said it was bad? Did you say it was bad? How dare you? How dare you say it was bad? Oh, that makes so much more sense. Why have I not been doing that? Why has everybody allowed me to be this much of a failure? I ask, riddle me that, Batman. Oh, they were the other 10% not hearing what unknown to him. He was rounding up. 0.1%. He'd soon find out. Didn't notice at all. Rooms are rooms, Rade said about the institution. Wrongly. But about this room. But rightly about this. Ugh, that's stupid. 1% is yeah. That doesn't need. I don't need Rade's dumb opinion on that. Yeah. Shut up, Rade. He's rounding up. But do I need that at all? I mean, I kind of don't. One, unknown, and he'd soon find out are pointless. They cancel each other out like two dumb double negatives back on back. Oh, The door open. Yeah, let's just bail on that. The drawer door opened. Or the door, or the drawer's door, or the door of the drawer, or the door's drawer, or the drawer's door open. The drawer's door opened. I like that. The drawer's door opened. That's got a nice little mouthfeel to it. The drawer's door opened. I appreciate that. We'll see if that stays. That also might annoy me almost immediately. We'll see. That's the excitement. This is my Bob Ross moment. That's the excitement of writing, you know? Sometimes a mistake is actually something great. The distinct wood on wood scraping sound accompanied the sanded friction, the sanded down friction, the sanded down distinct wood on wood scraping sound accompanying the sanded friction of sandy friction. Distinct wood on wood scraping sound of sandy friction. I like that. Sandpapered friction? I like sandy. That's got a better sound to it, but sandpaper, if you don't know wood on wood scraping sound of sandy, yeah, I like that. The drawer's door opened, the distinct wood on wood scraping sound of sandy friction. That's got a good sound to it. That's got a lot of fun. Friction. I like that. Good morning. The last time we're doing good. We're writing today. We're filled with the spirit. Softer than screeching, but louder. Softer than screeching, but not enough to be silent. No screeching. Too well. Built so well. Built well enough not to screech. Built well enough to keep the fruit built with the quality of quiet, but not the silence. Built with an eye towards silence, but without success. Do that. Built with an ear for silence. I mean, you know, built with an eye for silence doesn't make sense, but that's kind of the idea. Built with an ideal of silence. And the humanity to fail. Coming close. But humanly. Coming close but failing humanly, with an ideal of silence. Coming close but failing. Like life. Am I right? Am I right, guys? Like being born. Like being born. Built with an ideal of silence, coming close, but failing. I'll just say coming close. So this way you can hear, so after you hear the wood on wood scraping sound of sandy friction, which you can see is kind of like onomatopoeically constructed to create that wood scraping sound. The wood on wood scraping sound of sandy friction as you pull it out. Now, this gives you the volume. So I'm giving you the sound first. You'll hear the sound and then adjust the volume down as you continue through it. That's the idea. Whereas I could say it was quiet first, but what I'd like is for a decrescendo, not like an instant hit of the note, you know? It's the difference between oh and ha. Or it's not if you can't hear it. But I can. And if I'm reading this, I'll hear it. And I will be angry with myself. Come in. Be brief. This is motherfucking King Robes. He doesn't waste words. What are you, an asshole? A microscopic, not fully cooked man of 24 years. You can see I'm making the microscopic reference to earlier to let you know which kind of man he is. So that's why I compared the two, earlier. So I put this guy up here. 90% of the people who entered office already felt small. They were rendered microscopic. So now by using microscopic over here, I'm signaling to you that this man already feels small. So he's got multiple deep characteristics, not deep, but he's got depth just by referencing an earlier thing. This character is more just by, so that's kind of a thing to take with you, is that if you have a callback, then you can create more flavor, Microscopic, not fully cooked. Man of 24 years old. 24 years. Boy, more like. Boy of 24 years. Boy of 24 years. Entered with ambition. Despite all that. So you can see now that in one sentence, I have got multiple pieces of characterization just on this guy who doesn't even have a name yet. Microscopic references earlier that now he is a man who already feels small. 24 years old, boy, not man. That gives you an idea of what's going on, not fully cooked. And now he's got ambition despite all of that. So with just this one sentence, you can construct a full person out of somebody who who's like this. Somebody who's already got this kind of Napoleonic complex that gives them a confidence that, frankly, they do not deserve and should not have. Now you have that from one sentence. That's fucking characterization is what that is. God damn it. God damn it. He didn't want to be. That's not how it was supposed to go. He didn't want to be small. He no longer wanted to be small. He wanted to grow. See? Instead of saying he didn't want to be small, we're going to adjust this point of view on this character. He is not a character who doesn't want to be a small. He's a character who wants to grow. I don't know what his name is. His name is Dickbag McGee. A dangerous desire to have. A faulty, fatal desire, am I right? Dangerous desire, and a not unreasonable desire for him fraught with danger. One that's not unreasonable, but to have in King Robes' presence, unhealthy. A not unreasonable desire. But you never want to grow in front of a king. You don't want to grow in front of King Robes. King Robes doesn't want you to grow. So it's a dangerous desire to have. So it's not unreasonable, but unfair. Unfairly dangerous in King Robe's presence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is our first. Let's take a look back here. Hold on. All right. Come on, baby. Yeah. That's our first adverb in how long? Unfairly dangerous is our first adverb in for who's giving out awards? Where's my Nebula? Where's my Nebula award for not using this for too many adverbs? And so it was King Robes. That is why the world is unreasonable and unfair. King Robes. Thank you, Sheriff. You have been appointed Sheriff of Awards. Sheriff of Nebula Awards. The next time you see a sci-fi writer, fucking arrest him. And that is why this world is unfair and unreasonable. King Robes' presence. Do we want to repeat King Robes' presence? We don't. That sounds bad when you say it. You can say King Robes' presence one time, because that gives you a little spice. But you can't say it twice. That is why, and that is why it's unfair and reasonable. And that is why this world is unfair and unreasonable. King Robes. Him is why that doesn't make no. His is why the world is unfair and unreasonable. I do like that. His is why it's unfair and unreasonable. His actually making sense because it directly references King Robes' presence. So it works. Blue line underneath from Google Docs. Cram it. Lincoln's sink is burning. Lincoln's in Sir. Okay. Now we're going to get to the action. Sir. Lincoln's sink is burning. They call them sinks. The institutions are called sink. Also, I've decided to set our beginning action in Lincoln, Nebraska. Why? Because nobody else does it. Why did I set it in my other book in Dixon, Illinois? Because nobody else does it. Because you all think that stuff happens in other places. Well, it doesn't. It happens in Lincoln, fucking Nebraska. What do you mean it's burning? What do you mean it's burning? We're going to do a little two-man vaudeville right now. The literal meaning. one of the residents set everything on fire using the electrical outlets, according to the, well, now former staff. He does not use well. He's too ambitious to use well. That's not how this man talks. He is trying to be specific with his words in front of King Robes, because if he's on King Robes' team, King Robes is going to take him cool places. So he's not going to swear, he's not going to fuck up, he's going to have pauses in between that stuff. King Robes, on the other hand, is the boss, so he's going to go with, what the fuck, man? Lincoln. Lincoln what? Lincoln what? Lincoln where? Why would King Robes know where fucking Lincoln, Nebraska is? Morning, Matt! It's fucking game time! Lincoln what? Lincoln where? Sorry. I am sorry. He's a little obsequious for the lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. You pause. Clarity. You're afraid, you loser. Yay! Everybody likes Matt in here, right, Matt? Come on, buddy. Sorry for the lack of clarity. Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. So, King Robes doesn't give a shit. I'd burn down Nebraska if I was there. I don't care about Lincoln. That is your department. Did you hear me right? Did you hear me right? That is your department, dickbag. If I'm near your department, if I'm near your department, I'll burn it down. So why? So I'd burn it down. I'd burn it down. I'll burn it down. So why are you bringing me? So why are you bringing your department to me? If you want it to continue to exist, have to continue having a department. Having a department. He is. I heard you, sir. You don't suck, Matt. We all love you. And in a flash, before King Robes could bellow... Wait, what? Yeah. Could bellow his favorite... There was your doing here. Then what are you doing here? Then what are you doing here? The Micro Man had disappeared. Well done. He said aloud, only himself able to hear. He pressed the intercom button on his desk and said, get me relevant information on Lincoln, Nebraska. We're gonna rewrite this. Some of this dialogue needs to not suck. No, come on. Do you hear me? Do you hears me? No, of course I don't hear you, you dickwad. Yeah. I just figured you had more to say. Like, relevant to what? Could Nebraska be said to be relevant at all, right? Like, imagine I came back with a piece of paper saying irrelevant. Would that be all the relevant? Would that be all the relevant information on Nebraska? Saying irrelevant. Yeah. All right, I am taking it to Nebraska a little bit. And I'll tell you why. Nebraska has it coming. Oh, I know, Matt. I explained it earlier. It's one of the more hey, listen, you're preaching to the choir. I find it annoying. So the reason that I do it is to, I mean, the reason that you don't like it is the same reason that I do it. It's to kind of obfuscate exactly who's speaking and to force myself and to force the reader to do two things. The first thing I have to do is make sure that each individual character has an ability to be understood distinctly just through their patterns of speech and their words entirely. So if you go back through all of my dialogue after finishing the book, then you should be able to understand who is speaking after each individual time. Then I'll give you little pieces, bits and pieces that'll let you know kind of what the order of conversation is. But the other thing is to remove your ability to disregard individual pieces of dialogue. If that, let me try and explain kind of more what that means. So when people read a lot of books, yeah, no, I understand. So when people read a lot of books, what happens is they wind up skipping chunks. You wind up kind of getting to know which characters you can just kind of scan their words through. I do not want anyone to be able to miss a word. If you miss a word of this, you miss the book. So the word is the sentence, is the paragraph, is the chapter, is the book. Every single thing has to work together, and I try and compress it all down so there's no waste. I like, if I really went to town on Middlemarch, I bet that book could be, I don't know, 35, 40,000 words. So suck it, Elliot. Do you know why it's that long? People didn't have anything else to do. You're busy. You can be watching reruns of Golden Girls right now, and instead you're reading this book. So I'm not going to waste your time. At the same time, I'm not going to be at all helpful, frankly. I might actually actively be fighting you. It is. Isn't that right, Matt? That's the thing, though. And that's the thing that I'm trying to understand as I write through this project is I genuinely don't believe people are taught to read in not the right way, but in a way that moves from just understanding some content to understanding in totality. You know, like a lot of people wind up reading until they get something that they want. They're not reading, they're picking and choosing. They're biting little bits there. You know, the way people like read the way people fact check. You know, the way people fact check is they don't read the totality. They hunt. People have become hunters of information that's wrong or that allows them to disregard or skip or take shortcuts. I want to remove the ability to hunt through what I'm writing. You can't hunt. You have to absorb all of it. And if you don't understand it purely, that's totally fine. In the same way that, like, that story of Prince not allowing people to write things down in his interviews. He wants them to get a vibe. If you get the exact quote, that's not really what he's trying to say. Through the paper, if you get the exact quote, you're not getting what Prince is trying to say. You're just reading what Prince's words, and Prince's words don't make as much sense whenever Prince isn't saying them. That's the title of this book. Prince isn't writing this. And here is where we discover that we are talking to King Robes' daughter. How about somewhere between all information about Lincoln, Nebraska, and a piece of paper saying irrelevant? Oh my God. Spell. Show me your education isn't just for being an asshole to me. Molly. Hello, Molly. Molly's a great character. I like Molly. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if he actually did that. That could just be an apocryphal. That could be one of those stories that people tell that you attribute to whomever it is that you think is cool in the moment. You know, like, oh, Patti LaBelle used to never let people write things down. It'd be fine. It works in every era. Just pick a cool person, and that's what they did to look cool. Oh, Molly. Molly adopted the infuriating tone of the early 20s daughter. More subtle than a teenager's and more powerful. Redundant. She yells in bold. We don't need italics. We need bold. Redundant. But not him. He's not in bold. He's emboldened, am I right? No, you're not. King Robes took the bait. Irrelevant, he yells. Oops. Turn the page. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it is totally, it's a very Prince thing to do, so it works. It works the best. The problem with fiction, and every good fiction author will tell you this, is that there's no way to write in your book the Indiana Jones theme. Just can't do it. Can't write dun 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 dun. You just can't. They won't let you print the music sheets for it because you don't have the copyright. John Williams is a real dick about it. That's what every good fiction author will tell you. John Williams is a real piece of shit. Love you too, Dad. All right. Oops. Oh no, the music kicked out. All right, I'm back. Somebody's got to tell me when music kicks out, right? Where are we at on this? Let's do this. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Matt. Okay. Wait. Once again. She spun him Location unfamiliar. And then Molly was gone. Either off, nope. And then Molly was gone. Either off to achieve what he asked or to fuck her miserable genius girlfriend. A woman seemingly created by God to vex him. Solely to vex him. To vex him. When in fact, she was simply chosen by Molly for that purpose. Her entire being pissed him off. Before they had ever met, before they had ever, never right before they had ever, Jordan. Before they had ever, good God, before they met. Tamika's labels, before they met, Tamika's labels infuriated him. Doctor, lesbian, woman. He didn't really need more than the last, but they provided plenty. African immigrant, speaker of perfect Americanese, in spite of all. An even more infuriating trait than its counterparts. Phil fucking Anthropist. God, how he hated her. Oh, that's right. Hold on. Doctor. That's right. This is the funnier part. That she was gay was her only positive in his eyes. He got to crow about how fucking tolerant he was. Intolerant I am. Make it something that he said. That way, as your narrator, I get to say fucking without actually being the narrator saying fucking. I get to give you a little bit of a point of view into King Robes' thought process. At the same time, I get to have a little fun for me. Despite the opposite being perhaps the most true fact ever to exist. That's maybe a little bit overboard. Fucking tolerant I am. You get it. Because I add the fucking tolerant and I have the previous paragraph, you get that he's full of shit. So I don't need to beat a dead horse here. Now we get where Molly is taking it. Tamika was at work. Molly knew. So off she went to learn relevant information about Lincoln, Nebraska. Alright. So we got that. Okay. So the question is, do we leave King Robes behind and add a new chapter, or do we continue this, or do we call this a continuation of the same thing? say we give her a little bit of space. Molly gets a little bit of space. We'll see how we go from there. Molly was grateful for the order. Sitting at a desk on top of the desk. One floor above her dad's office in the drawer with a literal goddamn glass ceiling because she was on top of the desk. Like a paperweight. See? Jesus Christ, Jordan. Type. What an asshole, she thought. Wearing a sun hat. She thought. You can't think as... Wearing is not a thought follower. What an asshole, she thought. Sweating beneath a sun hat. The sun, sweating beneath the sun. Sweating beneath what amounts. Sweating beneath the magnifying glass effect of her enclosure, protected only by an umbrella destined for the vampire's exit. Destined for the trash heap of burning embers left behind by the sadness within the thought sad of the umbrella destined for destined, protected only by an umbrella. Protected only by an umbrella. Inadequate to the task. Yeah, that works. She had to get out. She had to get out. Because constructor, the architect of this particular curiosity had no interest in the practicality of a lifelike recreation of recreating totality of recreating a scaled up snow globe, instead only focusing on verisimilitude, because that's the word that an asshole like them would use to her unending woe. All right. The architect of this particular curiosity had no interest in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe, instead only focusing on verisimilitude to her unending woe. The architect of this particular curiosity. Particular or practicality? One or the other, Jordan. The architect of this curiosity had no interest in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe, of recreating, instead only focusing on verisimilitude to her unending woe. The architect of this curiosity was uninterested in the practicality. The architect of this The architect of this curiosity, uninterested in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe, focused only on verisimilitude to her unending woe. All right, so the architect of this curiosity, uninterested in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe, focused only on to her unending woe. Okay, we're gonna need to cut that up. Uninterested in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe. All right, so that gives us a nice break for the rhythm of it. The architect of this curiosity, cut. Uninterested in the practicality of recreating a scaled-up snow globe, focused only on verisimilitude to her unending woe. Yeah, baby. There we go. Oh, that should not have been as hard as it was. Freed from her sun dungeon, she went home. She lived on the university campus in a palatial, plantational building built for her to be on campus, but not. How did I spell any of that? Freed from her sun dungeon. Do you know how hard it is not to say sungeon? Impossible. But that's what I'm trying to get you to say it. That's the trick of sun dungeon, is that immediately after you read that, you have to go, sungeon. In a palatial... This word was clearly... Shut up. Palatial. Plantational building. Built for her... Building built. Building constructed for her specific building. Fabricated. For fabricated is good. That brings us fabricated for her. On campus, but not. So that's our... So fabricated gives us the lie connection, followed up by the hitting of the metaphor, both on campus and not. Fabricated, both on campus. Fabricated for her, on campus, but not. So we can get rid of both if we go fabricated for her on campus. Give us some ellipses, but not. That gives you the rhythm. I like that. Feel the rhythm. This one I like. She pilled up for inspiration. Mind-altering chemicals exactly were irrelevant, only that they altered minds. She took 6 for understanding tasks. Cocktail. She believed her to intuit her father's actual instructions. Intuit. She believed allowed her. She believed gave her. No, she believed allowed her. Cocktail. She believed, because it doesn't actually. It's just drugs. She likes doing drugs. So I have to have she believed. I can't cut out she believed and say it allowed her. I'm not lying to you. She's lying to herself. Her question was, what is relevant? What is your favorite color? Information useful for achieving tasks. Tools relevant to what? To what task? Catching the terrorist or arsonist? Arsonist. How would Lincoln knowledge be relevant? Jesus Christ, spell relevant. Jesus Christ. Relevant to what? Relevant. How would know? Maps. Okay. Maps. Good place to start. We have maps on our phones. This isn't fucking Lewis and Clark. Should we... I might put all of this in italics to denote it is her thinking. A la Ken Kesey. Or should I indent it? Her question, what is relevant? So now this is where we're going to indent this. Alter it once again. That'll give us, again, her thought process is the same. I'm going to have everybody's thought process indented in this kind of possible way. That way I can give you the idea that nobody's thinking clearly. Nobody is thinking clearly is the point. So now she is talking to herself straight up. Fair point. Eliminate maps from possibilities. Yeah. What? Maps. Bye, Karen. Yes. What? Maps. Get it? It's a bit. Okay. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, no big deal. That's what we call a James Joyce joke. What else could be relevant to achieving the task of catching the arsonist / terrorist? Information about the arsorerist. I like arsorerist, but that's too stupid. Information about the fucking guy. Fucking guy would be relevant. Jesus Christ, Jordan. Relevant to whom? Relevant to whom? That's a good question. Not to me, not to Dad. He's not the person for that. Not his department. We already know how that goes. King fucking Rhodes doesn't give a shit about that asshole in Nebraska. There are unstable assholes. There are unstable assholes everywhere. In Nebraska, out of Nebraska, there are unstable assholes everywhere. There are unstable assholes somewhere, everywhere, all the time. He's not looking for relevant to him. He's not looking for that type of relevant. What type? What type? What type relevant? Jesus Christ, Jordan. Are there more of him? That's what we're looking for. Are there more of him? That's it. He wants to know if they are a network based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. No. No network of terrorists is based in Lincoln, Nebraska. We did it. Question asked and answered. That is the sum total of relevant information about Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay. Okie doke. So we got that. Why are my feet so He's not going to like that. It's true, though. Right. That truth is the last thing he cares about. Nice. Good one, Jordan. You got him. Right? Okay, now we can get back to work. Now we're outside of her head. Molly typed Lincoln, Nebraska into her computer. Then printed pages upon pages of fun facts about Lincoln. Job finished in record time. Molly took the relax and wait naked for Tamika to get off work cocktail of pills and did exactly that. Molly took the... Alright, that's big one word. Oh my god. Cocktail. Do I need of pills? I feel like I don't need of pills because I've referenced cocktail earlier, so I'm not going to have of pills. We're just going to have that. And did exactly that. All right. How about that, folks? What are we at? What are we at word count? Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look for funsies. What's that? Oh, shit. 2,500 words? Do you know what that is? That is 1/20th of the book. Easy peasy. All right. I am going to do my other stuff for this morning. I think this is pretty good. How's everybody doing? Couple hours? Couple hours is pretty solid for the mornings. We're going to let this one end the way it is. I think I'm going to try and make this, like I've said this before, but I want to get this done. I want to put it out. I want people to read it. So if you're watching and if you're enjoying it, that's cool. Let's continue doing this. I think I just got to keep going. All right, everybody. Take care.